look ahead now and come up with a little bit of a prognosis for the industry going forward. John, I mean, looking into a crystal ball, which is always a dangerous enterprise, can you give me a sense of, I mean, realistically speaking, how you see things panning out over the next 2 years? And do you think the industry will engage probably with the initiatives we've seen from the European Central Bank and also the National Institute of Finance, I believe? Could you tell us a little bit about what you think they will be able to achieve?
Sure. The next 2 to 3 years, people are going to be looking at the potential role of a utility. As you touched on, the ECB are talking about a utility. In the US, the National Institute of Finance is being mooted as a body that can take on a utility for securities information and for client counterparty legal entity information. I think in the States as well, they're also thinking about a central store of transaction information, primarily because of transparency and access to data. So I think over the next 2 to 3 years, there's going to be some consolidation of those concepts. I hope if we do move down that road, we get some central governance. I don't think there's any merit in the ECB ploughing a lone furrow and then in North America them ploughing a lone furrow. It needs to be something consolidated, or again we'll end up in the same boat with disparate solutions to the same problem. So I think you will see the reference data industry move towards the idea of utility more and more. I think you will see the reference data industry move to the concepts of standards more and more. We know of certain EU investigations at the moment into S&P, into Thomson Reuters around the use of their various codification structures and how easy it is to migrate away from those codes. So I think there's going to be a general move towards a standards approach and towards a utility approach over the next 2 to 3 years. But as is everything with the reference data industry, probably more evolution rather than revolution. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. But I think there are a number of organisations, bodies, interested parties, be they organisations like the ECB, be they exchanges, be they organisations such as ourselves, where there's enough impetus and enough momentum being created now that something will emerge in the next 2 to 3 years, I would suggest.
Great. Well, thank you very much for joining us. That's all we have time for today. John Mason, thank you very much for being here.
Pleasure. Thanks, Michelle.